Hi there everyone, hello and welcome. I'm Adrian Atkinson. This is Jamaica Magazine. Today we are about connecting in a safe way over the Christmas holidays and protecting your interests in the case of motor vehicle collisions. Get settled. All the information we're sharing today you don't want to miss, so please stick around.
Do you own land and need a title? Well, the National Land Agency NLA can help. Through the systematic land registration process, the NLA will assist residents to get titles in declared project areas across Jamaica. Systematic land registration is the methodical and orderly registration of parcels of land in a designated area known as systematic adjudication area. For further information on the systematic land registration process, including declared systematic adjudication areas, who can apply and the benefits, visit the National Land Agency's website at www.nla.gov.jm or email asknla@nla.gov.jm. The National Land Agency, one goal.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, December 13, 2022. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security now has access to data that will allow it to provide services to more vulnerable persons. The findings from a collaborative study with UNICEF are now out. It looks at the socioeconomic impact of disability on children and access to safety nets in Jamaica. Social protection specialist UNICEF Jamaica, Andre Miller, says the study examined the financial situation of parents who have children with disabilities. It also looked at the costs associated with caring for a child with disability and the barriers to accessing services.
Among the findings from the study, it pointed to the fact that for many of these households, a significant number of them remain unemployed or find themselves in situations where they're unemployed. In fact, some 43% of our respondents were unemployed.
Mr. Miller says the unemployment status was due to COVID-19 and the option to stay home to care for the child or children, the latter accounting for 80% of respondents. Other findings indicate that households with children with disability earn on average $30,000 monthly, although spending reached a high of $200,000 monthly due to transportation, medication, and equipment. The survey also revealed that 67% of respondents never accessed or benefited from social services, either from government or NGOs. 40% believed they were not poor enough to receive services, 60% were unaware of where they needed to go to access these services, 20% did not like the treatment they received, while 69% indicated difficulty in filling out forms or accessing the buildings.
The study recommends that we should consider the development of a separate social safety net for children with disabilities. In fact, it went as far as to examine this against the background of a recent public expenditure review on social protection that made a recommendation that current benefits being provided for PWDs, as persons with disabilities, should be increased to about 35% of the base benefit as per the National Poverty Line. And so that's a good starting point. So just to break it down for the members of the public, you're talking about moving the benefit from about 1,800 Jamaican dollars to some 3,000 Jamaican dollars. Now, for many of us, we may be saying that's small, but of course, for a household having to engage with services, transportation and food, it will make a significant difference. And of course, this base benefit value is per individual, per member of the household, and so it would go a far way in helping these families.
The Tourism Ministry is increasing the level of participation in the sector through a $100 million tourism innovation incubator. Funds are being made available through the Exim Bank and the initiative is being managed by the Tourism Enhancement Fund. Through the incubator, tech entrepreneurs will be able to convert profitable ideas into businesses that will benefit the sector. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett made the announcement at the recent Tech Beach retreat, where he highlighted the need for more innovative ideas in the industry. He says this will provide unique new experiences within the sector.
We are saying to the young people, when you have come with your ideas to the incubator, We take you through the boot camp, and your ideas have been proven that they have value, then we will provide you with initial funding to convert those ideas fully.
According to Minister Bartlett, $40 million was provided in the last budget to create the incubator, in which 13 new inductees have generated innovations. The tourism minister emphasizes that the incubator is designed to nurture and support young entrepreneurs to be the drivers of growth and development in the post-pandemic era.
The purpose of that is to bring young people across the globe to start thinking about one subject called tourism resilience and how to build capacity to respond to disruptions, to bounce back fast, and to thrive.
Consumers are being urged to be alert and smart in their approach to shopping this Christmas season. This message has been a constant reminder each year by the Consumer Affairs Commission, CAC. Chief Executive Officer Dulcie Allen is advising shoppers to create balance in satisfying the thrills and being level-headed with financial decisions. She was speaking at a JIS think tank.
We know there are many different products on the market, many different offerings out there. You see the ads going, the financial sector, lots of offerings out there, lower interest rate, pay later, that type of thing. We ask that individuals do the math before we actually enter into those types of arrangements.
Ms. Allen also emphasizes the need for planning and for consumers to be intentional in their shopping.
We may find ourselves with some additional funds, but it is very important that we plan nonetheless. We don't want January to be a time of mourning for our consumers. When you think about all that you did, during the Christmas season without even thinking.
And finally, an indigent family in Moreland Hill, Westmoreland now has reasons to enjoy Christmas after receiving the keys to a $10 million two-bedroom housing unit. This is thanks to a contribution from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development's Indigent Housing Program. Portfolio Minister Desmond McKenzie handed over the housing solution to the family of 4 on Friday. He says the social and economic needs of the family prompted an urgent response from the ministry.
My greatest wish has come true because I wanted the family to have a home for this Christmas, and I think this is going to be a beautiful Christmas. A beautiful Christmas for the family.
The new family house was outfitted with a stove, refrigerator, washer, beds, televisions, and a wheelchair ramp. Minister McKenzie says repairs to the tune of $7 million were made to a road near the unit to improve accessibility due to the physical limitations of one family member.
I'm feeling extra enjoyment. Extra enjoyment. So sometimes I don't even know if you say. The whole family, everybody happy.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
234 Jamaicans have lost their lives in motor vehicle collisions in the first half of this year. Life is precious. Don't be a statistic. Drive with care.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
As we draw even closer to the Christmas and New Year holiday period, more people are expected on the streets, leading to a congested traffic environment. We want to implore you to be safe as you traverse the roadways. But just in case you are the unfortunate victim of a motor vehicle crash, it's important to know the procedures for reporting this incident.
You know how they say accidents do happen, unexpectedly and often unintentionally. Though road safety experts no longer define these unfortunate incidents involving motor vehicles as accidents, they're certainly never intended. Unfavorable weather conditions, objects on the road, your miscalculation while driving, or another driver can cause crashes, even for the best defensive drivers. That's exactly why it's important to know how to respond in these situations. So, what do you do at that exact moment? What should be your next steps? And when and how should you file a police report?
For the number of reports that come to this station, perhaps it's on a basis of about 10 to 15 per day. That's the number of accidents per day. So after a road traffic accident, person should first try to clear the roadway if they're obstructing the traffic for other motorists. Secondly, drivers are expected to exchange vehicle documents, and the document should include their registration certificate, certificate of fitness, insurance certificate, and your driver's license information. Those are the essential 4 pieces of information that should be provided to both parties after an accident. Contact information is optional, but you have cases where a person tries to settle outside insurance, and that's now a civil matter. It's an agreement between both parties, so if they want to exchange contact information, that's also optional, depending on the intention that they have in terms of fixing the vehicle outside insurance or what.
Your next step? Making a police report about the collision. This is always a good idea. That way you have proof of exactly what happened and the scope of any injuries.
In terms of our approach as police officers for a motor vehicle accident, first the critical thing is to check for injuries, make sure that persons are okay. If there's a need for persons to be assisted to the hospital for any sort of treatment, we should make sure we render assistance to persons in need of that care first. Secondly, we check for the damage for the vehicles, make sure there is no obstruction along the roadway, and then we can treat with the document or the exchange of particulars between both parties. After making a report of a motor vehicle accident, the next step that persons are advised to do is to make a report to their insurance company, and that's for another motorist. As it relates to a pedestrian persons who are injured, they are also advised to get the assistance of an attorney to file a personal injury claim against the party that is liable in the accident. For follow-up visits, what we do, we have cases where persons are seriously injured, some of which are not able to make it to the station to give a report in the first instance. So what we try to do, whether the persons are hospitalized, we ensure that visits are made and that the person's conditions are updated as we go along. As we through the investigation, we ensure that the person's conditions are updated along the procedure.
But are you always required to report traffic collisions?
Not in all cases a report must be filed for accidents. We have situations where it could be a very minor mishap. For example, someone could be reversing from their garage, they could bump their gate. So in those cases, it's not necessary for them to make a report. But for other situations involving another motorist, or a case where a pedestrian or a property is damaged, a report is expected to be made, because persons at times are expected to make claims, whether from their insurance company or their attorneys, based on the damage received or the injuries they've sustained.
Reports from the Road Safety Unit shows that up to April 26, 139 lives have been cut short because of road crashes this year, with over 100 of those being males. And for the corresponding period last year, 136 lives were lost in road crashes. On a more global level, studies from the World Health Organization (WHO) show that approximately 1.35 million people die each year as a result of road traffic crashes, and 3% of most countries' gross domestic product is spent on road traffic crashes.
The most common cause of motor vehicle accidents, from my understanding, it's mostly impatience on the part of some of the drivers, and lack of knowledge as to how the roadways should be used. And I also believe the implementation of traffic signs at various areas would also aid the process, because most drivers are not aware of what to do at various parts of the roadway.
In the face of such figures, even the most careful driver can suddenly encounter a bit of bad fortune on the road. You know that saying, Decisions can be like car accidents, sudden and full of consequences. So how about making the right decision to be responsible road users today?
Is COVID-19 still a thing? You better believe it is. The good news is that we are not under the restrictions we were 2 years or even a year ago. Entertainment is back in session. Masks are still recommended, but no longer required, and vaccines are available. But in all that, we can't forget people are still getting ill from the virus. So it's still a good idea to try and minimize your risk as much as possible. You know the saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. In other words, prevention is better than cure. But and that's a big but, we've been cooped up a long time now, and that is dangerous for another aspect of our health, the mental side. So let's reconnect this Christmas, just in a safe way.
Christmas is a time for merriment, and in a lot of ways that means coming together with family and friends just to hold our vibes. But these days, that can be very challenging. COVID's still about, and we still have to observe the precautions like washing our hands, wearing our mask, and of course, keeping our distance. So Mama now come from America this year. Uncle Clive stuck at England, and June over there in Spanish Town can't come to make her special potato salad. This isolation can make us sad and depressed. Our mental health is under pressure, but what can we do to maintain the vibes?
There is a cost mentally and physically for prolonged social isolation. So any way you can help yourself to get connected with others, do so. Or it could be like, one of the things they say is that to spread the virus, bring the celebration maybe from inside the home to outside the home. Have that dinner outside where there's better ventilation. Reduce the numbers that you're invited to the house. Maybe not 20 of your closest family or 30, but maybe 10. And call and get in contact with the rest.
Yes, call up your loved ones. After all, it is the most wonderful time of the year. For those who are lonely, however, it takes greater effort to safeguard their mental health.
The first contributing factor is the belief that it's the most wonderful time in the year. Then why do you feel this way? Because you're supposed to feel wonderful at this time of the year. So those expectations that your mood should be happy and light and you should have all this energy. And when you don't feel that way, a person can feel shame, disappointment, and even more isolated because they're not feeling the same as expected. That can be a definite contributor. And then there are situational factors. If you can't get home because you're traveling, you're an immigrant, you're stationed here, or you're stationed away from home, that can make this time a very difficult time of year for many, many people.
COVID-19 coupled with the strains of the holiday season can make things even harder. You may be asking, what are some things we can do to cope?
Get vaccinated. That's one of the things we can do to cope. That is a mitigating factor to reduce the impact of the other mitigating factors, like the social isolation, the morbidity, or the mortality, the effect of the illness or how severe the illness is. So if you want to take a chance to go and see family and friends, without worrying about, what may happen, that definitely can help reduce the fear of a negative outcome. in what should be a time where you can gather and see your family freely.
Barring that,
you might still have to continue with the mitigating factors, because the fact is COVID is here. And Christmas, the virus doesn't respect Christmas. We've lived through our phones more in the past 2 years than we ever have. Online has been maybe the bane and yet the savior at the same time. And using it just as if we've done for the last 364 days of the year, use it for Christmas. But what you need to do, remove the guilt and the sense of disappointment about using it during this season. It doesn't mean you have failed, it doesn't mean it isn't as good because you have to call or Zoom chat a loved one when you wish you were there in person. You might be helping them, you might be saving their life and saving your own.
You've heard the expert. Reach out and connect virtually this Christmas. Spend time, cook, share meal ideas, reminisce about old times, teach the children old ring games or folk songs, dance and spread the joy and laughter. Open your gifts and let Grandma see you rocking that sweater she sent you. There are so many ways to make the holidays memorable and happy. And guess what? If you don't feel like cooking, order through one of our many food delivery services and pull out your pretty tablecloth, special plates, and fancy glasses. Maybe June can send you that potato salad from Spanish Town after all. Stay safe, stay connected, and thrive. Happy holidays! For your household furnishing and decorative pieces, local artisans can fulfill your desires. From the bedroom to the dining area, your entertainment room, and even your walls. Exquisitely designed pieces that will make your guests wish they could stay.
As part of our local economic development support program, we host a number of business fairs where we're trying to showcase those businesses that deal with the crafts from the downtown area. If you travel along Harbour Street downtown, you will notice a number of furniture stores with different things on the sidewalk. And we consider a number of those products to be of high standard. A standard that you will get in any stores that you will go in and around downtown as well as uptown.
The exhibits here are actually really lovely today. Like especially the natural, I think it's a natural furniture place. They actually have some really nice stuff on display.
I believe in nature taking the dominant role in everything we do. So I want to highlight the beauty of nature, and that's why I go for stuff that look the way nature presents it already. Anything you can conceptualize, I try to bring it to life. I do door, countertops, accent wall, the whole decor pieces. It's a nice coffee table. Two cedar limb, I put them together with a resin inlay. So I pour the epoxy called liquid glass. Yeah, I love to work with that to create the binding, but it also comes with a lighting underneath it to really illuminate the whole thing in the night. Another piece of the same cedar tree. If you notice how the termite heat it out, but I treat them to ensure that nobody have termite in their home. However, it's the termite in it that causes the different looks, the rotten hair. They heat it out, but when you put a finished touch to it, it's going to come out beautiful. So my beauty is what you consider to be ugly and distorted. I just bring a little beauty touch to it. This is actually is a dinner table for about 3 or 4 chairs. Put a little piece of nature to it. So it comes with a wood root of a orange tree, and it's also a guango base and a guango top. These wall pieces are what a Jamaican famous wood called logwood. Growing up in the country, I always love it, so I bring some little touch to it to finish them, but it's all natural.
Uniwick has been around for over 25 years. We manufacture wicker, rattan, and we also do fully upholstered furniture. The wicker industry right now, the importation is giving us a beating right now, to be honest. Right? So customers are normally going for the plastic furniture, but we're coming to durability. The wicker is the way to go. So we'll normally recommend, and we're saying to the customers, the plastic furniture normally ends back up to me because it cannot take the rain and it cannot take the sun. So it comes back to me to cut it off and put on the wicker.
I did look at some of the furnitures and things, and it looked nice, looked interesting.
We sell furniture, mainly beddings and living room items. Once it's made from wood, we make it. What we have here on display now are made from maho. That's a national wood. Purchase of maho from the people who cut it. You can purchase from the forestry department. We use the maho, we use the Spanish elm, cedar, and mahogany. Those are what we mainly use. They are more comfortable working with, and they give you a proper finish, lasting, life-lasting products you get from them.
We cater to hotels, villas, private people, doing furnishings with Jamaican bamboo, totally Jamaican products, all handmade. And we use the internet to market, and a website, Facebook, and we've been in a few shops, but at the moment we aren't in any shops. We're just in online. We do pendant lamps, cluster lamps, every type of lamp you can think of, ladders, shop fixtures for hanging clothes, displaying shoes, as well as your regular furniture, bedside tables. Bamboo itself is one of the most environmentally friendly plants, so by cutting bamboo down, you're increasing the growth of bamboo and takes out carbon dioxide out of the air, and it's good for the environment. Plus, it's a very strong material, so it's very durable, and in places like by the sea, it doesn't rust. So we use bamboo dowels, no nails and things like that, so no rusting. We also create very comfortable designs, so everything is designed for luxury, comfort, put your legs up, get back, you know.
I saw this piece from a mile. It's like a city. Looks like a city, you can see. The buildings, the road, you know, some of the other buildings. But I want it for my studio. And it represents like naturalness. So I'm gonna put these pieces in my studio.
I have on display abstract pieces. Abstract pieces on canvas, paper, and PVC. The colors here today are based on PVC material, canvas, as well as paper. And there are colors inspired by people around me, my family, my son, my wife. So yeah, they are bright colors.
Buy local, because we have tremendous products locally, and when we buy local, we provide the bread for more than one of us, yeah? So we need to grow our economy, and the best way to grow our economy is to buy local.
This is where Jamaica Magazine ends today. Another one is being prepared for tomorrow. View it here or on the GIS's website. We share so much more there. So take note of the link on screen and visit the site that's updating you daily on issues of national importance. I am Adrian Atkinson. On behalf of the entire production team, thank you so much for tuning in, and see you next time.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.